see the masses of people eye me down as I walk up to the podium as parents, students, and faculty wait to hear my commencement speech. I begin my address to the graduating class with, as lyrics to High School Musical state, that we are all in this together. We have made a huge achievement from these past 2 years at Ensign to make it to this day, which is graduation. A rush of adrenaline spiked through my back, and I thought I was in a dream as I took to the stand. But before I made it to the podium on that hot summer day in June in Newport Beach, California, I think back to the day I tried out for this speech. However, what I did not realize at the time of applying for the graduation speech, public speaking would have a whole new meaning in my life. I reflect back on that day in April when I walked into the office of Dr. Wong, the principal of my junior high school, filled with mixed emotions of excitement and uneasiness. Dr. Wong's office was filled with a brown background and all sorts of Ensign sports pictures. I took out my speech in my High School Musical song for some background music to add to the mood of the speech and began to say the words for the commencement. This was my first time trying out for a speech in front of such a large crowd. The first few sentences, I started off being a little shaky because I became so concerned with the thought that someone else could actually get the speech over me. When I remembered that the reason I was applying for this was to represent and send off the class of 2007, I found that my nerves and anxiety were able to be controlled. Once I put myself in the words of the speech, speaking came natural, and I felt like even though Dr. Wong was watching me, his presence could certainly not distract me. After 2 minutes of reading the speech, which really felt like 30 seconds, I put it down and turned off the music, waiting to hear Dr. Wong's comments. Of course, the only feedback I received was that I did a good job and would know the results of the winner by the afternoon. By then it was lunchtime, so I sat with some friends and tried to talk about topics that would not remind me of the speech. However, it was inevitable to not think about the results. In that moment, it was the first time that I had to come to grasp that things do happen for a reason, and whether or not I did within speech, I did the best I could and had to move forward. Finally, Dr. Wong called me back to his office that afternoon, and my nerves set in once again. He smiled and congratulated me because I was the winner, and my stomach dropped. The sun is shining and beaming on the students of Ensign Junior High School. I smell the ocean breeze and see the audience in front of me. Through my words, I hope that my fellow graduating classmates feel the same way that I have felt during these past 2 years. We have reached another milestone in our lives, and my speech praises all the students and their achievements. I hope that they too feel the passion and excitement that I do as I read this commencement address. During the last paragraph of my speech, it all sinks in that this is the last time we will be together as a class. I clear my throat and almost get a little emotional as I close my speech because everything sinks in. I cue the sound man to play the CD and the speech concludes. I was ecstatic and raced to my friends and hugged them tight. Graduation was not the end of our time together because we would move on to high school and begin our next journey. Speaking in front of my classmates started my passion and love for being a leader and speaker. Since that day in June when I gave the graduation speech, I have spoken at multiple leadership programs and for numerous school clubs. Public speaking has given me courage and confidence, but most importantly, I have found my voice. I am willing to speak for others even when the issue or matter does not affect me. Public speaking will offer me many avenues in the business world, such as working as a spokesperson for a big corporation like Google. I did not realize that day in 8th grade at my graduation would develop a lifelong passion and skill for eternity for me.